So, as someone new to the idea of posting Arknights clears on YouTube, I was like, let me just post another breakdown video like I did with To Be Continued. But the issue with Dossoles is that there actually isn't that much to talk about that's new. Like, either masteries really matter for Minosknights, so once I got things like Palace Skill 1 Mastery 3, Errata Skill 2 Mastery 3, so on and so forth, things are just a lot easier. Or maybe the stages don't punish Minosknights very much because, like, for the most part you can just kind of do whatever. Or maybe I'm just better at Minos now and I can figure things out quicker. I don't know. I'd say the biggest issue Minos faces in these levels is trying to figure out who blocks what. Because unless you're spawn camping with crazy damage from Errata, Conviction, Palace, Skill 1, like someone has to block something. Vulcan has to block the boat guys, stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into it. So remember in the intro where I said Vulcan has to block the big boat guys? Yeah, EX Stage 2 has this right off the bat, where Vulcan has to block the first two guys, as well as the ones that come later. So the issue is there's only one Vulcan to block, but there's only one blue box to stop them from going to, so it's pretty obvious where she goes. Then it's just a matter of trying to pile on damage, and that's why Sideroka, Conviction, and Errata are all just staring at Vulcan. What this means is I had to fight my instinct to put certain units in certain places. With Sideroka, it's fine because she loses one tile anyways, but putting Errata not in the middle of the two boat guys at the beginning really was awkward the first time doing it. It's important though because sometimes just too many enemies get to Vulcan too quickly, so Errata's sleep works as a way to block units without actually blocking them. This means Errata is basically the only other 3 blocking this squad, but she can only block for 5 seconds at a time. It's wonky. Stage 3 isn't so bad, but since I didn't really have a good way to take care of the kites and some of the important enemies, it came down to body blocking. And even though Minosknights isn't good at healing, because they only have Palace, Sideroka has self-healing, and Vulcan also has self-healing, so body blocking itself wasn't an issue. I elected to use Sideroka because she has shorter skill cycles, but, you know, it's fine. You know what's not fine though? Stage 4. Stage 4 was pain. It was nothing but pain. There is a lot of pain in that stage. PvZ? Yeah, I haven't seen PvZ levels this hard since... Actually, I can't remember the last time I played PvZ. Huh. The first issue is that this stage sends enemies pretty quickly, and Minosknights is not exactly good at that. We have Conviction, who has self-stun for 10 seconds, and we have Palace, who costs 16, which is not exactly cheap. On top of that, the regular enemies have a chance to dodge physical hits, which means everyone except Sideroka is prone to just missing shots. Yeah, I think you can kind of tell how hard a level is by how many options you've got for skill usage. Like, for this one, Palace Skill 3 is basically required because everyone else is kind of forced to be at the top except for Errata, who kind of cheats by being on one side by hitting the other. But yeah, Palace basically has to deal with the wave rush on her own, which means she has to attack every single one through physical dodge on her own. That kind of makes sense. You know what doesn't make sense? This is the one stage where I actually need to use Sideroka Skill 1. Yeah, so just a refresher, I had Sideroka at Mastery 2 at the time of this recording, and all it does is heal Sideroka instantly for 60%. That's it. So, you might be wondering why it's required. It's simple, really. Sideroka doesn't have the stats to just tank out every single enemy in her lane, so she needs to heal somehow. And since Palace is busy getting drunk on her own on the other side of the pool, Sideroka is basically forced to fend for herself. On top of that, because Vulcan doesn't have enough damage to solo the boat guys in time, someone needs to help Vulcan. So if Sideroka loses her range to skill 2, then Vulcan's kind of screwed. Yeah, that's definitely one of the beauties of playing Unleashed. Eventually you run into one of those situations that's just narrow enough for you to not see on all the regular gameplay, but on one specific stage, because of one or two specific mechanics, that skill actually has a use. But yeah, that's basically the whole event. Stage 7 was just more trial and error, you know, just do things until they work. And stage 8 was basically just a redux of, well, stage 9. Bedroka deals with Poncho phase 1 and summon the casters, Vulcan and Palace hold the blue boxes, and Arado and Conviction take out the stragglers. Yeah, that's it.